Welcome to a short webinar on CTLE. Today we'll be covering the basics of the New York State regulations. This webinar is provided by Onondaga Cortland Madison BOCES. My name is Jen Spong, and you can contact me with the information on your screen. The objectives for today's webinar include understanding CTLE and its components, determining your own reporting requirements under the new regulations, and being directed to further resources if you have additional questions. CTLE stands for Continuing Teacher Leader Education, which is a new requirement adopted by the Board of Regents at their March 2016 meeting, and that took effect on July 1st, 2016. It's a requirement that's going to impact almost all teachers and administrators throughout our region. Failure to comply with this regulation could potentially result in the loss of your licensure. CTLE consists of two components, a registration component and a professional development component that we will be covering today. The first thing to understand is what portions of the CTLE requirements apply to you, and that is based on the type of certificate that you currently have. If you are a teacher with a permanent certification, you must register, but you have no professional development requirements. If you are a teacher with a professional certificate, you must register and complete 100 hours of CTLE PD over a 5-year period. If you have an initial certificate, you have no registration requirements and no CTLE PD requirements at the moment. If you're a level 3 teaching assistant, you must register and complete the professional development. And finally, if you're a pupil personnel service provider, you have no registration requirements, no CTLE PD requirements. However, we would encourage you to review and comply with any requirements you may have for your particular license. We get two questions often, and they're down here at the bottom as clarifications. First, if you hold multiple certificates and one of them is professional, you will default to the professional category and need to follow all of the requirements, register, and 100 hours of CTLE PD for the professional certificate holders. Secondly, if you have multiple professional certificates, you only need to complete one set of professional CTLE PD every 5 years. So to clarify, if you are someone who has a permanent certification and a professional certification, you will default to professional and you will need to comply registering and completing your 100 hours of CTLE. If you have multiple professional certificates, for example, maybe you have 3, you only need to complete 100 hours, not 300 hours over a 5-year period. We've now constructed 6 examples to walk through. Hopefully one of them resembles your situation. In this example, we have a permanent social studies certified teacher. This person only has a permanent certification, so they're going to register, but they have no PD requirement. In our second example, we have a professionally certified phys ed person. This person has a professional certificate, so they must register and complete 100 hours of CTLE credit over 5 years. In our third example, we have someone who has a permanent certificate and a professional certificate. Because they have 2 certificates and one is professional, they will default to the professional certificate holder, which means they must register and complete the professional development requirements. Our fourth example also has 2 certificates, one professional, one initial. Because there is a professional certificate, they must register and complete the PD. Our fifth example has 2 certificates, but both of them are permanent. Permanent means register, but no professional development. And our last example is an initial certificate holder, a newer teacher. This person has no requirements at the moment, but once they are awarded a professional certificate, they will have to follow the requirements of registering and completing CTLE credit. Next question we need to answer is, how do you register? Before the end of your birthday month during this school year, we invite you to visit Teach Online Service. You'll want to provide a valid email address that you could access even if you were to leave your current district. You'll need to answer some moral character questions, including whether you're obligated to pay child support. And finally, you'll want to keep the confirmation of your registration, which typically comes in the form of an email. In order to complete CTLE professional development hours, you'll need to attend CTLE qualifying opportunities. You'll want to keep the confirmation of your attendance, track your hours to ensure you're getting 100 hours over the 5 years, and then the next time you go in to register, 5 years from now, you'll attest that you've completed the professional development requirement. How do you know if something is CTLE qualifying professional development? Professional development must be given by an approved provider. At the moment, agencies throughout New York State are applying to become approved providers. Schools, BOCES must also apply. Teacher centers, the Arbor, and the RSC task are already approved. Know that anytime you attend CTLE qualifying professional development, you should get a certificate. Please keep those certificates. You'll need them in case you're ever audited. Finally, if you are currently taking graduate level courses, those courses will count in the form of 1 semester hour equaling 15 hours of CTLE credit. So for a 3 credit course, you would be awarded 45 hours of CTLE credit. A couple of FAQs that we get quite often. There is no fee to register. However, if you fail to register on time, you may be hit with a late penalty. A second question we often get is, what about people who are already working on 175 hours? You can stop collecting those hours. You do not need to submit them. You will have a new clock start when you register this year in your birthday month. A third question is, how long do I need to keep those certificates? The regulations say that a teacher could be audited for up to 3 years beyond the end of their registration period. Therefore, we recommend keeping your files for about 8 years. And then finally, I want to attend professional development that doesn't qualify for CTLE. Can I? This is a great conversation to have with your supervisor. Together, you may decide that your attendance would be beneficial, and you just need to recognize that those hours would not count toward your 100-hour requirement over the 5-year period. Here are 2 links for more resources. One is the NYSED homepage for CTLE, where you'll find the actual regulations. Below that is a link to New York State United Teachers website, where they also have information on CTLE, including a great fact sheet. Finally, we have some support here at OCM BOCES in the form of a certification office. If you have questions or concerns about CTLE or your certification in general, we invite you to call between the hours of 8:30 and 11:30, Monday through Friday. Hopefully, you can now articulate what CTLE is and also talk about its 2 components, registration, professional development. You understand whether you are required to register or to complete professional development, or both. And you can also access more resources if you are looking for more information on CTLE. Thank you again, and please don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions.